Venice, the most beautiful city in the world. Today let's go around the city and see what it has to offer. Venice, the floating city built on water. It's not hard to fall in love with Venice. It's one of the most spectacular cities on the planet. City known for its canals, masts, bridges, and much more. The entire city is filled with colorful architecture, pretty waterways, and marvelous buildings. Where else in the world would you reach historic palazzos, churches, and museums by boat, traveling along the endless maze of picturesque canals? This is an unique experience that's never available in any other cities in the world. This is exactly why Venice is popular. You would have heard of the iconic gondolas. Perhaps the most famous symbol of Venice, the city's beautifully decorated historic boats that are called gondolas. It will be a unique experience to sit on these and be rowed across the iconic places of Venice. Do remember, there are other means of transportation to get around the city as well. There is a water bus, which is basically a ferry type of boat called vaporetto. The prices per person is around €8 to travel through the city. There are many stops where you can get down, look around, and hop onto another vaporetto. Then there is this personal taxi that would cost around €120 for a 40 minutes round trip around the city. We took the 40-minute ride on taxi so we would have the freedom to record the city and show it to you. The sights of the city were mesmerizing. Venice is incredible. Although you may have seen it in pictures, you can't grasp how beautiful it is until you visit. As we traveled on the taxi, we passed through some of the most famous landmarks. Canal Grande, or Grand Canal itself. Where we are sailing right now is the main canal. Think about it like a main street of a city. Then there are narrow canals, like the smallest streets in a city. This Grand Canal passes through the city from this end to the other end where there's the open sea. This is a church that dates back to the 17th century and it is called Chiesa di San Simeone Piccolo, Church of San Simon Piccolo. Little further, we come to the most iconic location of Venice. You would have definitely seen this in movies or as a picture, the Rialto Bridge. The Rialto Bridge was first constructed in the 11th century and reconstructed into the stone bridge in the 15th century. This is a famous romantic spot for tourists to ride on a gondola. Aside from this glamorous appearance, many shops and craft stores can be found around the Rialto Bridge. Most of these stores now cater to tourists, but this was actually an important hub for butchers, bakers, and other merchants back in medieval times. This is one famous church in Venice, Basilica di Santa Maria della Salute. This is famous because this was built as a vow to Mary, asking for an end to the plague that raged the city since 1630, and during which the city lost around 46,000 inhabitants. This gorgeous church was built in the 16th century and is one of the first sights of Venice visible to the travelers approaching by sea. This is easily one of the most important places in Venice, St. Mark's Square or Piazza San Marco. Piazza San Marco is the city's main public square and contains its most famous buildings such as St. Mark's Basilica and the Doge's Palace. It was established during the 9th century but adopted its current size and form in the 11th century. Back then, the Piazza San Marco is one of the most beautiful in the world. Even Napoleon called it the world's most beautiful drawing room. Overall, the beauty of Venice is incomparable. The famous King of France, Henry III, during his lifetime quoted that, "If I were not King of France, I would choose to be a citizen of Venice." Yes, this shows how famous the city was and still is.